Today we're installing the 5¼ inch component kickers, 200 watt peak, 100 watt RMS. These are going in the front door panels of a 1990 Bronco. They're going to be hooked up to a 400 watt, or I'm sorry, maybe a 600 watt 4-channel. We're going to be replacing some 65 watt Infinities, so I think this is going to be a good upgrade. All right. Look great. We're not going to use the covers, or it's unlikely that we do, because it probably won't fit. That it? There you go. You need assistance? Okay. That's how. So these go on the door panel. I think these are going to go on the A pillar above the dash and in front of the window, the passenger and driver's side front windows. And that'll be tied into the amp. Not sure what these are. I'll have to figure that out. Zip ties, template in case you need to cut into something, some custom fabrication. That's kind of neat. I guess your tweeter can go in there. Yeah. You can mount it and move it around. I won't use that. Unlikely I use that. Did I, oh, wait a minute. There it is. There's your tweeter. See if we can pull this out with one hand. Okay. Yeah, those look great. Okay, I think this is, seems as if this should be simple enough. The instructions. Okay, that should do it. All right, let's check the length of the wiring for the component. I'm sorry, not the component. That's not a component. For the tweeter, this, I'm sure some of the wiring that it'll plug into is in this. Yeah, there you go, for your mids and then your tweeter, just like that. And kind of give you, I'll show you real quick how I want to mount it. Okay, so these are going to go behind this panel right here without that screen on it. I would like this to be mounted inside this panel right here, because I've heard of these going bad or being ruined by water exposure through here. So if I can keep it away from water exposure, have it in there, and then run the wiring for the tweeter right up here, and then maybe mount it right there. I think that'll look pretty good. Yeah, I think that might be my best option. Move my hand out of the camera. Here, yeah. Then run wiring down here, through the door, into there, and then right there. All right, let's get going. Okay, so this is the side. It's kind of where your ankle goes, so to speak, on the door. I'm gonna put this inside right here, and I don't want to do a whole lot of drilling. Like, I'm not going to screw this in to this because it's really not going to go anywhere, but I am going to drill 2 holes for these to come out of the back, and then they're going to run up inside the panel. And I have a little bit of just double-sided Gorilla Tape just to kind of secure it in there for whatever reason, but it's not going to go anywhere. So let's work on that. Okay, they're in there. I didn't have to do Gorilla Tape or anything on there. And this is felt. I don't know that it would stick. But with the wires pulled through, I mean, it's not going anywhere. And then one thing to think about is there's a switch right there for how, I guess, the frequencies. I don't know the words for it. I'll put the text on the screen to explain it to you, but that's how it's going to sit in, and it's going to be essentially protected from any outside elements. I'm sure I could spill a cup of coffee in there and cause issues, but it's not going to be inside of the door and prone to getting wet or have the possibility of getting wet. All right. Okay, so I just pulled out the old speaker out of the door. It's a 6.5 inch, I believe. Yep. Type E. It's an Alpine. Got it off eBay. I think they were $60 delivered for two 6.5s. 60 watt RMS. This is, you can get them all in the same shot. This is the new speaker. It's a 5 1/4. One of the issues with this is it was too big for the hole inside the door, and it kind of protruded out, and the door panel was I believe touching this part and causing a little bit of vibration. But this is the new speaker, 5 1/4. It's going to fit right in there perfectly. You can actually remove this and then it has an attachment where that screws into the back of this, and then you can have that still in the door. I like the idea of this being visible, and I like your mid-range basses kind of coming out the side of the door, and then your tweeter, your higher frequencies, are going to be coming out of the pillars, so they're going to sound separated, so to speak. So size-wise, you're like, oh, it doesn't look like an upgrade, but the quality of the speaker is pretty clear if you could see it in person, and I'm sure by the frequencies and everything, just by looking at the specifications of them on this. The specifications on this are on Crutchfield, which is where I got these, and you can put them side by side, and this is a much higher performing speaker. So, all right, let's get it installed. So what I'm gonna end up doing is I'm mounting the tweeter onto this. Wire's gonna come out the back. It fits into that little slot right there, and still has the original kind of fit of, not fit, but design like this. This wire isn't long enough to go up the A-pillar of the door. I'm not rewiring anything. I'm just gonna do this. I think it's gonna work out pretty great. As long as the depth isn't an issue. I don't think it will be. I think we'll be okay. All right, I'm gonna show you how to set this up real quick. Okay, this might be a bad angle, but it is what it is. Okay, this center cone right here, this is gonna unscrew. Unscrew that. Then you're gonna take this piece, you can see that, and screw it in the middle. Okay. Next, it's this little cone, dome. It's gonna come through these two pieces, just like this. This is gonna go on the back of it, okay? Then this little piece, just like this, okay? Your wire is going to go through the top of right there, through the top of this hole, just like that. So this is the concave side. This is the convex side. It's going to fit inside there. Then you take this screw, you're going to drop it in. Might be easier. See how it's coming through right there? Okay. This might be an easier path. And you're just going to screw that on. Perfect. Make sure it's nice and all level and it fits up. Okay, get you a better view. Okay, so this is what it looks like assembled. Just like that. Okay. Then you're going to take this wire and you're going to feed it through that hole right there, which I can't do with just one hand. Okay, is this better? Okay, so you have it fed through like that, okay? And you're going to put it inside. You'll line up these threads. And then you push that in. Then you take this, and you see that? Okay. And that fits inside those little holes of the screen. And it's just like an 1/8 of a turn to the right. And then it's in there tight. Okay? Then you feed your speaker wire through this hole right here. Perfect. Okay. See how it hangs through just like that? You're gonna pull it in, and then it's going to just kind of snap in there. Line it up, that way it's all kind of flush. Perfect, just like that. Yeah, there you go. Not that you're gonna be able to see it through the door panel. Then this, your speaker wire fits into this groove. That way it isn't as loose just inside that door panel, and then just kind of mash that in with your finger. Perfect. And then there's your mid-range woofer hookups. And don't forget, I mean, you can't really mess it up. The negative cable has this flat, the female end. Your positive cable has the male end, so you can't really mess them up. But there you go. Okay, so we're mounted up. We're in there. I believe it's gonna have plenty of room. Component wires come through here. This is on there. I did clean this with some the door and the panel with some engine degreaser, clean it up real well, and then before I put in this screw, I did some of that double-sided Gorilla tape just to kind of keep this 35-year-old panel in place, and there's just, you know, less stress on these little tabs and everything. All right, let's get this panel back on. All right, so speakers are installed. They sound great. We're hooked up. There's the crossover component, whatever you want to call it. So you would have no idea that instead of 2 speakers up front, we're running 4. Let me show you what we have. You tuck in those speaker wires and vacuum wires. What amp we're running here. You have to excuse the mess. They just cleared out our deer lease. Got a bunch of camping stuff back here. So I have a kicker amp. This coffee pot out of here. Let's open this tailgate. So kicker amp, let's see, CXA 360.4. I can't remember the watts off the top of my head. God, I keep covering that with my thumb. I can't remember the watts off the top of my head. I'll pull it up, but the bass boost is about halfway. You can see right there, that's the bass boost. Frequency, I have a little over halfway. I have the crossover off. When I hook up another amp on the other side, I'm gonna run this one on high, and then the other amp will flip it over to low, and that'll be for the subwoofer. And then the gain is what is that? 5/8, not quite 3/4. Fader is on, and then we're running out of amp 1 right here. And then everything is tucked in through there. This looks a little incomplete because once I have this other amp installed, everything cut up, I'm gonna pull these out and paint these panels and then install everything back on. All right, everything looks great, sounds great. Thanks for watching.